your whole career really started when you were a young child.
It kind of, I mean, the very big, the beginning where I was given a drum when I was 3 years old,
yes,
is where the musical story starts.
Oh.
And my uncles gave me this drum. Apparently, I don't really remember it, of course, and apparently I took to it as opposed to just sort of playing with it for a few days, and it ended up in a cupboard. And so when I was 5, because I'd showed such a lot of enthusiasm, when I was 5, they made me a drum kit.
Right.
It fitted in a suitcase. And then when I was 12, I bought a proper set.
Right.
And I sold my train set, or what I thought was my train set. That got me half the money, and my mum and dad put the other half. And then I found out about 5 or 6 years ago that it was my brother's train set I sold.
Oh, no.
So I actually sold his train set to get my drums.
To get your drums.
Yeah. And then when I was, so really that's all I wanted to do, you know. And then when I was just almost 14, my mother started working as an agent for kids, theatrical agent, and I got sent for the Artful Dodger in Oliver, which is on in the West End. And it was just about the 4th year of its 8-9-year run. And I got the job, and my grammar school that I was going to said that I couldn't, they wouldn't let me do the entire run that I was able to. I was eligible to run, which was at 9 months, you know. So I left that school, and I went to a stage school. And that's when I was 14, and that's when I was in Oliver onwards. And but I really, I just wanted to be in a band, because the Beatles were starting to happen.
Oh, I see. So that's how.
It was 64. And,
right. Was your family musically involved? They weren't involved with the theatrics? Or
no, my mum was, as I say, the agent, for kids.
Where do you think you got it from? I mean, it's...
I don't know. Well, my brother and sister. I got a brother who's, both brother and sister, both older than I am, and my brother's a cartoonist, and he, Playboy or the daily papers, I mean, he's kind of a successful cartoonist. He's been doing it for years. So that's artistic. My sister was an ice skater, and she was a professional ice skater, and she taught as well. So that's kind of artistic. So this is, my dad had no artistic sort of tendencies at all. He worked as a manager in the city in an insurance company for 40 years. I escaped though.
It's interesting to see, how people inherit things. They inherit sort of an inclination.
My son Simon, who's 16, he's a great drummer. But that's not because I taught him, because I didn't really, I haven't lived with him since he was.
That sort of ability.
Yeah.
He did. How did you start writing music? It always fascinates me how people can write music, And how did you decide that? I mean, did you write poetry, or how did that begin?
No, never been a big poetry fan. Well, I mean, I started pottering around on the piano that we had at home, but never seriously, to be honest. I mean, drums was my life,
Right.
Drums was all I wanted to do. And a ways into my sort of drumming career, if you like. I mean, I joined Genesis in 1970. Previous to that, I'd been a professional auditioner. I was going lots and lots of auditions, but never getting any jobs, But Genesis, I did play in a few bands before Genesis, but Genesis in 70 was the first proper band that was doing a lot of work and had a recording contract and all that. I was really just concentrating on drums at that point, but in 78, my first marriage broke up, and that pushed me emotionally. It pushed me into writing songs. I considered myself to be the injured party, although I guess the jury's out on whether those things, whose fault it is, But I wrote all the songs that were on Face Value, which is my first solo album. I mean, all those songs were written as a result of that. I mean, a lot of people say, how can you write that kind of stuff? You know, aren't you embarrassed by what people, their area of life?
There's nothing wrong with feelings, you know.
No.
Feelings are very
certainly,
important.
I get letters from people saying that, you know, I've just been through what you went through and your songs helped me. So I mean, in some respects, it can help some people. But I mean, I wasn't very good in putting it into words how I felt. So I wrote songs and said, okay, well, when she hears this, she'll know what I feel, you know.
Right.
And so anyway, that album, it became an album after the event. I mean, I wrote these songs really half for therapeutic reasons, half because I had nothing else to do with my time, because suddenly my kids weren't there and you know, life was in sort of limbo.